What's up? What's up? You already know what it is, man. Arthur Moats. Time to recap this here week tail game, man, where we obviously took this L to the bum tail Philadelphia Eagles. 27-13, falling to 10-4 on the season. But on a positive note, we did clinch a playoff spot today. So shout out to the playoff berth officially being, clinched. So we do like that. But yeah, man, as a whole, man, definitely was one of those ones where we're just like, really, this was the game today. Some positives, but the negatives, man. I will say this, unfortunately, not overly surprised with general outcome, but this was one of those tests, and I'll talk about that, man, as we get a little bit further into it, man. But yeah, definitely one of those ones, man. Let's go ahead and start it up, man, like we do. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get this thing rolling, man. Yeah, definitely, like I said, not the biggest fan of that one today. Philadelphia, now they thinking they good. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But let's get it, man. All right, drop it in the comment section where you are tuning in from, so that way we'll give you those big boy shout outs to start today's show. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Oh, boy. Shout out to the homie, though. The Don Hefe Quan in the 323, Watts, California. Z-Man in the 603, Durham, New Hampshire. Says, Philly is dang good, but we're supposed to be good. Not trying to get bounced first round again. Shout out to Jay Farrow in the 213, Koreatown, California. Love that. Steve Spears in Charlottesville, Virginia. Shout out to Charlottesville, home of the UVA Cavaliers. Z in the 601, Mississippi. Shout out to Mississippi. And I see you DM 4191 in the 760 Fall Brook, California. And he says that game was straight cheeks. I do agree. Yeah. Sitting there watching this thing, me and wife, I'm just like, really? You guys gonna blow the Sunday like this? Like all this vibed out stuff that's happening, you just gonna blow the whole Sunday? Just why? But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna definitely talk about it, man. All right, the homie Ray Meeks in the 757, Doug Crib. And I'm going to end it with the homie, your boy Dev in the 305, Yo. Shout out to Miami, man, one time for the culture. And shout out to the fact the Dolphins did get beat today. Always a good day when AFC teams take L's. But, man, from my perspective, this was the true test, man, or one of our bigger tests. And what I mean is this, man, our team thrives when we are the more physical team in the trenches. The games where we have won, which we've won a lot this season, the common factor in all those have been our ability to dominate the trenches, offensive line-wise, being able to run the football, pass block, defensive line-wise, being able to smash the run, but on top of that, being able to create havoc from a pass rush standpoint. Today, unfortunately, man, we just didn't do that. When you talk about us trying to run the football the first quarter, we were atrocious in the trenches, man. You talk about the big dudes from Philly, man. They controlled the tempo there, and then obviously, they were able to get the pass rush going with I think it was Josh Sweat had the first sack, and then obviously in the second half they came back. Nolan Smith had his sack against Broderick. To me, though, I thought that was kind of the big difference when we're trying to run the football. Usually we're looking at our interior guys, and we're like, yeah, look at Zach Frazier finishing on this guy. Look at McCormick finishing on that guy. Say Malo and company. That wasn't necessarily the case, but we knew the strength of this Eagles team. It was in the trenches. I mean, you look at them offensively and defensively, that's where they've invested the most resources, whether you're talking draft picks or free agency capital. So we knew that this was going to be the big test in the sense of, all right, how do we match up versus a team that fancies themselves as being big boys, being bullies inside as well? We like how we match up when we play Baltimore because we feel like we're the more physical unit, but we also have the athletes to match up with Lamar from a one-on-one perspective. I felt like athletically we matched up well with Philly, but the difference was when we had our one-on-ones, we did not win them. Whether we're talking pass rush, we obviously saw, some of the stuff that was going on out there, but shout out to TJ, shout out to Highsmith, man, they still made some plays, but it wasn't the havoc that we're accustomed to. And Jalen Hurts made some plays with his legs, man. But the thing that really killed us was the one-on-ones on the perimeter in the sense of our DBs versus their wide receivers. We decided early on that we were not going to allow Saquon Barkley to have a heck of a game and for Saquon to be the reason that they get out that stadium with a victory. We said that we were going to stop Saquon. We were going to keep that safety in the box, and we were going to allow JPJ and Dante Jackson to play, pretty much one-on-one or be out there with not as much help versus AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Unfortunately, man, both of those guys in terms of AJ and Devontae, they won, and they won a lot, man. Both of those guys ended with over 100 yards receiving. Both of those guys had touchdowns as well, but that was the difference for what they were trying to do to us from a defensive standpoint. It wasn't this bend don't break mentality. It wasn't allow them to do this, allow them to do that. Nah, it was pick your poison. You're either going to try to minimize their passing attack, keep a too high shell, and allow Saquon Barkley to run versus your nickels, your nickel corners, your nickel defense. And we know what he's done all season versus that. That's why he's on a historic pace this season. Or you try to take him away and make Jalen Hurts, who have been struggling throwing the football. You make him come out there and try to beat you. Unfortunately, he was, able to kind of get in rhythm, him and AJ Brown early on, making some plays. And then before you know it, now here we are, they're able to make plays like that, man. But that's one of those things where you got to pick your poison with that, man. If you try to stop both, you're not going to stop anything. So that's the other part with it, man. You like I said, you pick one and then you try to make plays with your other guys. And at times, JPJ did make some plays out there. Obviously, we know Dante Jackson got hurt. So you put in James Pierre and he fought. But I thought that was the big difference for our defense, man, because we stopped their rushing attack. Let's be real. If we're going to freak out, let's freak out. Saquon ain't do nothing. 60 something, was it 65 yards? Let me actually make sure I pull him up all the way authentic. I don't want to get, there we go. Yeah, 65 yards on 19 carries, 3.4 yards per. That's nothing, right? Kenneth Gainwell, 7 carries, 20 yards, 2.9 per. Nothing. The explosive runs really came from Jalen Hurts on them scrambles, 15 carries, 45 yards. And then we also had what? TJ Watt, pop, forced one of them fumbles on that. So we smashed the run. We got that accomplished. It was just on those, one-on-one opportunities for both of our corners, man. They couldn't win it consistently enough. And let's also be real. Let's not act like AJ Brown isn't a heck of a receiver, a top 5 guy in his own right. Let's not act like Devontae Smith isn't a top 10 receiver in his own right. We can act like we're better than them because they play for Philly, but man, both of them dudes will be starting to be wide receiver 1 if they were playing here. And that's, just the reality of it. So, with that, you got to pick your poison. So I thought that's what we did from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, like I said, man, they beat us in the trenches, man. When you get beat in the trenches, our running game became one-dimensional. We turned the ball over as well. Shout out to Najee Harris, man. Usually he doesn't fumble, doesn't do anything where we're talking turnovers and the ball just hit him in the belly. I don't know what he was looking at, man, but that's one of those ones where, yeah, you have a turnover at a bad time and Philly's able to make some stuff happen. Man, you talk about us trying to take some shots down the field or just trying to throw the football. We weren't given enough time to realistically drop back and take those shots downfield, man. Some of the double moves are just long developing routes because of their pass rush. So we tried to hit them a little bit quicker stuff, man. I thought Moof, man, made some plays, but that was the difference. And I don't feel like they actually decided to not respect the receivers and treat it like that, where they were going to challenge our guys on the outside. And that's where you kind of felt us missing a little bit from GP, man. So, it's one of those things where you see this and you learn from it. I think the big takeaway offensively is we still have to we have to come up with a little bit modified plan. If we see they got a unit up front that can create pressure, if they're doing that, man, you might have to go max protect it up a little bit. You might have to move the pocket a little bit more. Those type of things in terms of trying to adjust it so we can still attack those guys from a passing standpoint, because we really weren't given a lot of that. I thought the best drive we had was that one, right? It would have been the one where Phils came in. Then from there, obviously, I want to say, where was this set in the game? Right at the end, it's like end of the first half. You have the move, or you have the Phils run, slides, gets the penalty on him. You got Russ hitting move on a play, and then Russ also utilized his legs on a play as well, man. Like from there, we thought we were gonna get this thing rolling, but it just wasn't enough of that type of stuff, man. And like I said, man, credit to Philadelphia, man. They were beating us in the trenches. When they do that, it is tough to beat that type of team. And when you allow a team to get a turnover, man, in the sense of the fumble, yeah, that's gonna put you in a bad situation, man. But like I said, the loss doesn't kill us. We still got everything on the table. Obviously, Buffalo won, so we'll see how that plays out in the sense of us just trying to keep up to get either that 2 seed or 1 seed. But everything we want is in front of us, man. We obviously clinched the playoff spot today, so shout out to that. We in the dance, we in there. We got us a shot. Let's go. But yeah, Battle for the North is next week, man. Saturday. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, man. But you already know the drill. Hit that like button one time for the culture. And don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. I was looking for my daggone water. I was like, yo, am I joining that, man? Oh, that's crazy, black and yellow. Why you bringing up Buffalo like that, man? Usually y'all be in here talking all that Buffalo talk every week. That's y'all bringing it all up last week. I ain't say nothing about it. Chill out. Don't do me like that. All right. So we got some supers pulling up. Shout out to you guys for those as well. Definitely appreciate you. All right. AJ Martinez, he says, lean on the defense too much every week and parts start breaking. Rest to TJ through the season or lose him when it counts. Our defense takes a beating. The one thing I think they said that TJ did have x-rays on the ankle already, and that was came back negative. So that's a positive right there. Obviously, they'll probably because it's already Sunday late. So he'll get his MRI probably first thing tomorrow morning. So we'll know from a ligament standpoint what we're looking like. But the fact that the ankle is not broken, that is a massive positive right there. So now we just hoping, nothing crazy, man. Nothing crazy. All right. But we'll see what's up with him, man. Obviously, you never want to see him go down, man. Who else went down? Dante Jackson. Yeah, he went down with the back injury, man. Sheesh. And, man, we was over here talking like, yo, man, shout out to Dante Jackson, man. We had him on the show this week, man. Heck of an interview. If you haven't checked that out, definitely do. But, man, it's definitely sucked to see him kind of go down like that. Definitely, he was in a ton of pain with the back injury, man. And he was already leaking oil coming into this game as well. We have multiple players that we already didn't get a chance to see out there, man, due to injury. GP, obviously, not available. Deshaun Elliott, another guy that wasn't available to us. And, oh, my goodness. Larry O. Yeah, about to say Larry O. Gajobi, not available to us, man, due to injury. So, it's one of the ones, man, where it's just like, yeah, it's a little bit of a war of attrition, especially late in the season. And everybody has injuries. Everybody is dealing with it, man. But that's one of those things where you're just like, dang, man, you hope that the injury bug doesn't get you too hard, especially late in the season. And so far, so good, man. We have been able to dodge any catastrophic type injuries, man. And like I said, even with TJ Watt having the negative comeback on his x-ray for his ankle, man, that's another positive, man. We're dodging bullets. So let's definitely keep that thing going, man. All right. And then AJ Martinez came back and he said, Blitzburg, sprinkle some on our present defense. Yeah, man. Like I said, that's one of our mentalities right now, man. We believe heavily in our front four, and that's where our money is, man. When you're talking TJ, when you're talking Highsmith, when you're talking Cam, obviously Larry wasn't available to us, but a lot of our resources and draft picks have went into that part of our defense, man. And we don't want to do a ton of blitzing because we feel like we don't have to. We feel like we got the guys up front that can win. And TJ was winning his one-on-one versus Lane Johnson, who, they talk about obviously as one of the premier right tackles in the NFL. TJ was having his way, man. He was winning. So I don't feel like, there was this I don't feel like it was a overarching need for us to do a ton of blitzing, but I just felt like, man, it really came down to when those guys were in one-on-ones, JPJ, Dante Jackson, James Pierre. Yeah, man, they just lost them. And it's all right. I'm not saying in the sense of like, yo, it's okay that y'all, they got to win every single rep. But I'm just saying in the sense that, yeah, when it comes down to just a simple, their guy beat our guy 6 out of the 10 times that they went against each other, I could live with that because I know what that guy is and I know what the other guy is. And I know that our guys are going to continue to get better and learn from that. Whereas we know what that is all the way. JPJ still growing, still developing. So you take that and you say, all right, what were we losing on? Where usually you're the more physical corner, right? Usually you're the guy that everybody jokes about and says you're handsy. Okay, well, today you weren't handsy. Why weren't you handsy like that? Well, because A.J. Brown is a bigger guy. And his ability to get off the release and work his slants quick off the line it doesn't really allow you the opportunity to get hands on them like that, man. So with that, how do you adjust to that type of play? How do you, make the modifications to your game so that way a guy isn't able to do that? Some of the plays down the grass, man. Yeah, AJ's a big, fast, explosive guy. Devonta Smith, man, some of his weren't always in rhythm. Some of his were like the Jalen Hurts kind of running around and then hitting Devonta, but those are some of the things that you just kind of learn from. But then I look at JPJ making a couple of dope plays in this game, man, where he's one-on-one versus AJ Brown. He's barking back, talking smack to him. I'm like, heck yeah, that's what you want to see. So I just think that, man, it wasn't we need to blitz more and not blitz more. Guys won one-on-ones up front. They just didn't win them consistently enough, and I don't think they contained Jalen Hurts enough when they were creating some of that pressure, because he was able to step up, man, and really, put a lot more pressure on our secondary, making them cover longer. But that's kind of where I was at with it, man. I don't think the blitz would have changed anything to that extent, because you still were going to have the same matchups. It would have just been their running back having to stay in and block, or their tight end having to stay in and block. But we were still going to have our corners one-on-one versus those guys over there. Richard R. Bezo, he says, wide receivers locked up in first half. Suspect tackling today. Najee fumble hurt. Didn't cost the game. Seeing how this team looked after. Win the North next week. I think that's a fair assessment, honestly. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. We knew coming into this game it was a big opportunity for us. And one of those ones where we're like, yo, let's see. They talk about Detroit. They talk about Philly as the top two teams in the NFC. So let's see how we match up against a potential Super Bowl opponent. And I thought for the majority of it, we did some positive things, but I think that we saw at the same time that, yeah, they're a little bit further along in their development at this stage in week 15. They're a little bit more mature, in the trenches on both sides of the ball right now, just in terms of where they are able to create their mismatches and how they're able to win those matchups versus us. But it ain't the end all be all. Absolutely not. And we know we still got big action next week where we get a chance to win the North hat and t-shirt game. So you know how we feeling about that. And it's a rivalry matchup. So we can't wait. But yeah, this one definitely sucks though, man. 100%. And yeah, the suspect tackling, I would agree, man. I do feel like we ran to the ball well though. In the rush yards, you look at the yards after contact, we still won that part. The thing that hurt us was their ability to hit explosive plays, the explosive pass plays. That wasn't due to us missing tackles. That was just due to their guys being playmakers, man. If it's simple like that, you can live with it for a day. And that's kind of how I looked at it. I'm like, we don't see that happen routinely versus our defense, versus our corners and secondary. So you look at the matchup and you say it's a reason why both of those receivers are $100 million guys. Both of those guys have been Pro Bowl, all pro caliber type dudes for a reason. And yeah, we look and we say, all right, we learned today, but we're going to bounce back. We're going to see y'all at some point down this journey, man, if everything goes like it's supposed to. And then we'll see how we feel about it then. And then let's see, the homie AJ Martinez, he says 22 fumble decided it. Blessings to all. Yeah, the fumble, it hurt us a little bit. It did. But what I will say with that fumble is this though. It wasn't in the sense of we had to see him like physically get hit hard, and it killed like the momentum and that valor of, oh, this is Najee, he's the big bruising back. It just sucked in the sense of, yo, like, keep your eyes on the ball, focus on the fundamental part of this thing, so that way we could be good. But he'll learn. He'll be back. Here's Naj. We know how the homie does. All righty. AJ Martinez says, every team knows we're out our defense and we're done. Yeah, I mean, every team has a strategy. Every team has a way that they want to attack us, and that's fine. The difference is usually our offense is able to do what? Sustain drives and in turn attack their defenses and wear their defenses out. And that wasn't the case today because, like I talked about, man, their ability to win in the trenches really kept our offense off rhythm. And we weren't able to consistently run the ball like we'd like to. So now we're in this weird phase of we can't really beat them throwing the ball right now. And we're trying to, run it, but they're beating us inside. And then on top of that, They're on the flip side hitting explosive plays. So now we're feeling that urgency of, yo, we really got to go. We really got to go. We really got to go. And it's just a recipe for disaster, man. But that's the vibe right now, man. We are a team that we still do rely on our defense, and the defense does step up. But this was a bad, I don't want to say a bad matchup. This was just one of those ones where their offense was a little bit better than our defense today. And as crazy as that sounds, I know people are gonna hate that. Oh man, we got the highest paid this, that, man. We got that play, this play. I'm with you on all that. But the Philadelphia Eagles offense is, you look on paper, man, they got elite talent at all of the positions. They got guys. We took out the main guy in terms of Saquon, but they got two other dudes that's just as nice. It's kind of like when you look at us on defense and they say, dang, y'all got TJ Watt, y'all got Cam Hayward too. Dang, y'all got Minka Fitzpatrick. Whoa, and y'all got Alex Highsmith. And y'all got a JPJ. The same, and y'all got a Patrick Queen. That's kind of how it is when you look at their offense. You're like, dang, yo, you got a Devontae, you got an AJ, you got a Saquon, you got a Jalen. Dang, you got an O-line. Everybody's nice. Like, oh, well, how do we attack you? Where's your weakness at? And like I said, it was one of those ones where we decided to stop their run, which we were successful at doing, but they won on the perimeter with the pass game. And that's the give and take of it. Man, where did I put, man, I keep putting my word on this side, man. I keep looking for it. Jeez, man. Mm-hmm. But I will say the one thing that I've just, the takeaway that had me the most just about it all, a little frustrated, would have had to been the way they closed out the game, man. That last drive where they had 8 minutes, felt like 30 minutes of the, just driving the ball and ultimately us not able to ever get it back. That's the part that just felt disheartening, because now it's like, man, you can't stop them when you know what they're trying to do. And that's usually what we do offensively to teams late in the games, and it feels great. We talked about that before. But that was the part for us where it was just like, man, you would like to see us in the face of adversity, knowing that they have an ultra talented team with high pedigree on offense specifically, that our ultra pedigree, high talented defense could make a play during that time. But we were leaking oil. There's no TJ Watt on the field late in that process. No Dante Jackson during that process. No Deshaun Elliott during that process. No Larry Ogunjobi during that process. So you're talking about a defense that's missing a lot of their high-end talent in the most critical moment of the game when you're trying to get that stop. And it kind of reflected. And that's no different than what we expect from our defense when we're playing against offenses that don't have elite talent across the board. We're like, hey, man, y'all better get off the field right here. Y'all better get this stop right here. They better not get anything. And that was just a part of it today, man. I know we don't like to hear that all the time because we like, yo, everybody on our squad should be better than everybody on their squad just because. But yeah, they got some dudes on their offense, man. They got some dudes. But y'all hit that like button, man. Don't forget to subscribe either, man, if y'all new to the channel. I appreciate all of y'all being here today, too, especially after this nasty little game we didn't had to watch today, man, taking the L like that. All right, Black and Yellow Texas still. He says, if I'm stating the obvious about bad play or bad play calling, and you say I'm being negative, you're seeking comfort. Seek that comfort. I don't even know what he means. All right, he says, if I'm stating the obvious about a bad play or bad play calling, and you say I'm being negative, you're seeking comfort. Seek that comfort. All right. Yeah. Shout out to Black and Yellow. Shout out to Black and Yellow. All right. All right. AJ says, bend, don't break theory. Bending too much breaks. That's fair. I would agree with that. AJ Martinez also says, positive now. We gave the number one team in the NFL a 14-point lead and would have closed them out late if not for the human mistake. It happens. We in, and I'm assuming he says playoffs. What he's talking about? Yes, we're in the playoffs, and I think that's true, man. We don't like to see any positive whenever you lose. It's so, I guess, much more comforting to act like everything is just bad, god awful. I suppose that makes you feel better, but I agree with you, AJ. I like the optimism. I like to actually be able to see both sides objectively versus, speaking solely subjectively about the game. There's a difference. There were some positives. There were some things to take away where we're like, yo, you saw what we did here. You saw what that happened right there. There was some good. But if we only want to speak from the emotional side, the this is how I feel about it side, then sure, we're only going to focus negative, negative, negative. But I think there were some things that we could take away from this game, man. I thought Calvin Austin played really well. I thought Pat Frymouth played well. I thought the physicality early on from Darnell Washington, I love what I was seeing with that, right? It was some good going on. I thought the way TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith were winning, I like what I was seeing there. I thought as a whole, the way that we were punishing Saquon Barkley every time he touched that football early in the game, come on, man. When Mika hit that boy down by that red zone, he got up. I said, all right, all right, yeah. Mika liked that. He hitting folk today. Then he came back late in the game and then hit him again. Yeah, we do that. We smash the run. We're going to hit you hard. That's what we're going to do. Absolutely. There were some positives. But once again, if you only want to focus on the negative part and make it a woe is me, what are we going to do? The sky's falling. Then, yeah, you're going to repeat the cycle. You'll lose next week and then you complain and you lose the week after that, complain some more. But if you actually look at what took place and you're able to say, oh, this is where we got beat. Those two dudes happen to be better today than our dudes. All right, cool. They ain't win every single rep. Let's not act like we weren't watching JPJ make plays, talk big boy smack back to AJ Brown. Let's not act like we weren't seeing that, right? So there were some positives. But as a whole, yeah, we got to be better, more consistent in all of our phases of our team. Otherwise, when you play against the top tier talent like the Philadelphia Eagles are, this is what happens. They aren't Cleveland, right? That's the difference. When you talk about teams that actually are just as good or potentially better than us, this is how it happens. You got to be your best in all of these little avenues. Versus the other teams, man, yeah, you're going to get out of there. You'll beat them. Shoot, you'll play a team like that in the wild card and you'll beat them. But that's division round. That's AFC Championship. That's Super Bowl. That's what it's going to come down to, those type of things. So the benefit is it happened in week 15. So you got time to learn from it. You got time to make some adjustments off of it, man. But you got to have that mindset where, hey, all right, whatever we did that we didn't like, learn from it. What did we do that we did like? All right, let's keep doing more of that. And now let's get ready for Baltimore, baby. Shout out to AJ Martinez, though. He says, we're going to cook Ratbirds, Kansas City, and Cincinnati. Ooh la la. I do agree, man. We're going to be a lot more heated after this one, man, because it was one where we got out physical and their playmakers made more plays than our playmakers, man. And I'm talking our defensive playmakers. I'm talking about the guys that we fancy as, yo, you make plays and you make plays, man. But they won that matchup. Sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and just say as simple as that. They got me today. All right, bet. It ain't the end of the world. It's not. But if you allow it, your mind to make it feel like that, then yeah, you will go into next week and do the same thing. Can't be like that, man. Cannot be like that. But yeah, Baltimore, we got to see them. And Baltimore, man, they played well today, man. Granted, those the Giants, they put 30-something up on them, man. They're going to be ready. They're going to be hyped. But we know how we match up versus Baltimore, man. The big thing is going to be our health coming out of this game, man. What's the status with TJ Watt? Is he available or is he unavailable? And Deshaun Elliott, Larry O, when those guys coming back with the situation with Dante Jackson? That's going to be the big question, man, going into this week because it is a shorter week. We don't play on Sunday this week. We play on Saturday. So we got that one day less, and we're on the road. All right, so we got to travel as well with that, man. So like I said, we will see. That's the big part for me right now, though, as we kind of early looking that way, man. But other than that, though, man, I still like us in all of this. And the fact that we already clinched our playoff spot, health is still the biggest priority. We need to be healthy come postseason time. We're going to be clicking. We're still clicking. And I like the fact that offensively, man, you had to have a little bump. All right, cool. It happens. You learn from it. You had a bump in the road. It happens. But you'd rather be now than, like I said, in the postseason, man. Shoot, I guess I was on that, I was on somebody pack that, and I don't want to say it was Steelers pack because unfortunately we didn't get that Eagles pack today. Oh, man. I guess that was the, oh, it was a Detroit pack that hit. My bad, guys. All right. Shout out to AJ Martinez. Chill remix. Don't do me like that. I'm sorry, yo. Hey, Leah, don't do me like that, Leah. Hey, yo, y'all gotta chill, man. Y'all gotta chill. I blame y'all, all right? I blame y'all. There you go, man. But that's what that was, man. That was definitely that Lions pack. It just caught me a little bit while I was talking. All right, I'm back now. I'm back. Hey, I'm too saucy. Don't do that. Don't do that. No secret agent, man. Don't you do me like that, man. Wow. All right. It's just from an alum. Just, you know what I mean? I just peeking. That was it, man. Remix and I'm about to report the lie. Yo, what is wrong, man? We gotta chill, man. One big family, man. All right, one big family. Jeez. All right, let me get back to this day, man. All right. So AJ Martinez, he says we match up good in the Super Bowl versus Philly or Detroit, and he also says we match up well versus Buffalo. And honestly, I still do agree with all of that. When you're talking about Philadelphia, we obviously saw what we look like today. We know we can stop their run. We know we can minimize or limit Saquon Barkley. We know that we're able to generate pressure, but we're not able to create the hostile environment per se because of Hurts' rushing ability or his ability to just be aware in the pocket. We know the thing that we kind of struggle with right now, though, is on the perimeter, our corners versus their wide receivers. So if we were to match it with them again, do we treat it with more of a zone concept and do more of the make them snap the ball and execute 12, 13 play drives? Or do we sit back and say, all right, let's put more pressure on our linebackers and play two high looks so that way we can take away the pass? But now we got to, be all the way locked in versus Saquon and our run fits. Those are all the things that we're going to be reassessing and reevaluating. Detroit, we know Detroit can run the football like a son of a gun. That's one of the things that we do great in terms of stopping. But they also got Jared Goff, who can throw the ball at an extremely high level. He's an MVP candidate right now. So with that, there are certain elements with that, but you can score on them. You can score a lot of points on Detroit. They almost have 50 points just scored on them. All right. Now, granted, we know that was a little bit more of a higher powered offense in Buffalo, but they allow you to score, especially when we're talking about with a healthy GP. I don't see them being able to stop him. And we would match up really well from a physicality standpoint. Now, with Buffalo, speaking to them, we can score on them. The thing is, they can score a ton of points. And that's the part where when you're dealing with the quarterback like Josh Allen, it can get weird because of his ability to be explosive. But we also know that at times he turns the ball over. We do a great job of creating turnovers. We do a great job of creating pressure up front without having to blitz. So that means you got an extra guy in coverage to help you potentially catch an errant pass or a mistake by him via pressure or due to the pressure. So I do agree, AJ, man. I think that all of those teams we match up well with. We just got to make sure that we're healthy and playing our best game, because the flip side is all three of those teams match up really well with us as well, because of certain things that they do really well in certain areas where for us, we're still like, all right, we do this well, but they do that really well. So that's the only thing with it, man. But that's why when you're talking about those teams, we're all mentioning the same conversations. We've all been on these long winning streaks and we're all double digit, already clinched, whether it's playoffs or divisions, because we're the elite teams right now. So I'm not surprised that you bring these teams up. I would also throw in a Baltimore in there as well, because I think we obviously know we match up well with Baltimore, but I think that they're legit contenders. Kansas City, I think we would match up well with them as well. Or I think we would match up well with them also. But at the same time, they're going to have certain things where they feel like they match up extremely well with us as too. So here we are. Here we are, man. But you'd rather be in those conversations than the others where we're like, yeah, we don't match up well with any of these guys. All these teams is nice. That's not the case for us right now, man. But we can't have self-inflicted. You can't turn the ball over when you're playing against those higher end teams. Cannot do that. Cannot give up explosive plays when you're playing against those higher end teams. Cannot do that. No self-inflicted, because those teams are good enough to capitalize on those and take advantage of them. And you saw that happen today. We didn't capitalize like we normally do on great opportunities from turnovers. Whereas Philadelphia, they were able to minimize the damage on their errors and capitalize on our shortcomings. That's typically not how our flow of the games go. Usually it's the reverse for us. So that's the part where, like you said, this is one of those matchups. It was a good test. It was a good preview. So from here, You learn from it and we bounce back. All right, and AJ Martinez says no Buffalo in the Super Bowl. LOL. Come on, 52. It's on you. Let's go. Don't do me like that. I got my 5-5 on today. All right. I feel like anytime the black and gold, anytime we don't get the job done, I feel like I got to make sure I come in here and just plant my flag at the 50-yard line and let y'all know, like, hey man, I ain't tripping today. All right. So like I got yes indeed on my hat. All right. Shout out to the yes indeed merch. Okay. I ain't even hit y'all with the Buffalo one. I was like, I'm good. I'm chilling. All right. That's the vibe today. Agent Martinez also says we got destroyed on the stat sheet. 400 total yards of offense to only 169 yards. Yeah, not ideal, man. That is not what you want to see. But their offense was their higher paid unit. That's the unit that they fancy as, you know, the people that brought them to the dance. And for us, we look at our defense and say, yo, that's what brings us to the dance. And their unit, that was their higher end unit, played better than our high end unit today. Sometimes it's literally as simple as that. When your high end unit is getting beat, you're like, man, it's not that we got bad players, or guys that can't cover, guys that can't rush, guys that can't tackle. No, that's not the case. But they got guys that were catching it better, getting off their getting off their releases better at the perimeter, guys that were throwing the football better, and ultimately, man, able to evade our rush well enough to put more pressure on our defense. And the flip side too is this: most of our money too is in the trenches. The corners and safeties, they got money in draft pick status out there, but that's not where we say we got the $100 million guys there. And the flip side is AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Those are the big money guys. That is their TJ Watt. That is their Minka Fitzpatrick type of dude. So it kind of worked out the same way if you think about that, man, in terms of how those matchups were. And that's the unfortunate part, man. But AJ Martinez also says, still no 22 fumble. We score 20-20. We can win. And I agree, man. It does come down to that as well. You turn the ball over on something where it's not even a forced error. It was a self-inflicted, just drop the football. Sometimes just bad things happen like that, and it sucks. But it was literally just that. Like, yo, just catch the football. There's nothing crazy about it. We've seen you catch it 1,000 times. I think for me, man, I just leaned back and I was like, oh, of course it was on a dig on toss play. I tell you, the toss play is like my jet sweep. The Arthur Smith toss plays are Matt Canada's jet sweep. That's like their bread and butter. You just know it's, I don't like how it looks. I don't like when they call it, but it is usually effective. It usually works a ton. But on occasion, when you see it don't work, you're like, God dang it, this is why I hate that play right there. So maybe that was how I felt internally, because I was just like, yo, God dang, why they got to throw that toss play? And of course, they doing it to the short side. If it was no room to run this ball at, yeah. Just stretch play. Run and hand it to him, man. Or call the dive play. Come downhill, man. But yeah, that was just, here I was. And I was like, yep, maybe I'm just a hater of the toss, because the play does work. It does. When we catch the football, the toss works. I just don't like the toss play, though. I think it's like sluggish. I think we don't really have an explosive element to it. And we run into the short side of the field, and it's like, why? I don't want to see Najee run into the short side of the field on the toss. I want to see him going downhill. But I digress. It works, though. Same way, Matt Canada would call that jet sweep. Bing! We'd be like, yo, stop calling the jet sweep. Oh, he picked up 7. All right. God dang, I guess. All right. Shout out to Quinto49. He says, I can't stand it how every time we lose a game, now all of a sudden, we need to cut and fire everybody. Philly was just simply the better team. Shout out to Quinto49. First off, that was your first super chat from the heart, man. I definitely appreciate you, man, supporting the channel, rocking out with me today, man. And secondly, man, I do agree. It is crazy at times, man. And it can be frustrating if you allow it to be, man, but you just got to change your perspective. Just understand that same passion that makes them want to cut everybody every time we see any adversity or have a loss is the same passion that makes everybody go crazy and run around with their shirts off and beating their chest talking about some, here we go, Steelers, here we go. Like, it just is what it is, man. So, like I said, you take the good with the bad, and you hope that you get a little bit less bad than good, but it is what it is. Like you said, you would rather they have crazy emotion than no emotion. And that's kind of, the way I look at it. And hopefully you at least get to control it or at least in our case, we got to control it by playing because you say, hey, man, if I win, I control the crowd, man. I'm going to make them love me regardless of what they think. And we've seen that league-wide, man. A lot of like bad people out here that does some real, real bad things. But if you could ball, people, they forget. And we've seen that across the board. I ain't going to go into details, but y'all already know. All right, Black and Yellow Texas still. He says, I want to apologize to 39, talking about Minka. And he says, Patrick Queen needs to make a tackle. All right, I appreciate you, Black and Yellow Texas still. Apologizing to Minka. I told you, man. Minka gonna hit. Minka a hitter, man. He about that life, man. And his physical presence, he does not care. He is with whatever you're on. No Deshaun Elliott, put him back down into the box because that put DeMonte Casey more into the post, which is where Minka has been playing the majority of the season. Hence the reason why you don't see as many splash plays from Minka being in the middle of the field, but we typically do a way better job of just minimizing passing attacks because of what he's able to do there. Flip side today, put him down in the box a little bit more, and you see how physical that man is versus the run. You see what he brings to the table in his physical presence, where it makes people look around when they run it. They're like, hold on, man, where this dude at? Because he hitting hard and he hit you low. I'm like, hey, man, it is what it is. You know who Minka is. You know what time he on. So, yeah, shout out to Minka on that. In terms of Patrick Queen, man, that's on his tape, man. It is what it is. He's going to run around, be a part of a ton of plays. He's going to miss tackles. It's part of his being, man. You want his technique to be better, and I'm sure Aaron Curry, the linebackers coach, continues to preach that to him. Man, pad level, getting low, wrapping up, moving your feet. Don't get as high on the ball carriers when you're trying to make plays. But at the same time, man, I get it. You know, some dudes are more fundamentally sound and more disciplined. Others, man, they are just great athletes, man, and they're able to get to the football and just make a ton of plays. Patrick Queen makes a ton of plays. He gets to the football a lot. You just want to see him be more fundamentally sound, and that's the part that he has to continue to work on in his game. Everybody has something, though, about their game that they got to improve upon, and that's the part with him. It's not that he doesn't know how to tackle. It's not that he doesn't get to the football. It's just when you're talking about being disciplined in terms of the fundamentals of tackling, the little details, yeah, to do that every single time, even when you're tired, even when it's late in the game, early in the game, it's cold, it's hot, big running back, small running back, man, it's hard to be repetitive like that. But that's the part where for him, he has to continue to press and challenge himself that way. And I'm sure he will, man. But that's, like I said, part of it, man. Everybody has something about their game. Nobody's a perfect player, man. Anybody on that roster can go down the list and it's like, yeah, they got to get better here. Yo, you want to see him get better there? All right, this guy he can improve here. Now, some dudes you want big improvements. Other guys, it's the incremental improvements. But everybody has something that they're trying to continue to perfect or elevate in their game. And y'all hit that like button too, man. And don't forget to subscribe either if y'all are enjoying the channel. Richard Arbizo says, got that rare limited edition blue Steelers tee on. Shout out to Richard Arbizo. Don't do me like that, man. I ain't got no Steelers blue tee on, man. I think I got a JMU shirt on low key. I got JMU on underneath mine, man. Say it. Oh, good, Richard. Don't you do me like that. I was locked in. All right. I had my channel on the right channel. I don't know what channel again you was watching. Let's see. Hey, Richard Armito, this is not JMU. Listen, look, man. It's bowl week as well, man. All right, we got a big bowl game coming up on Wednesday versus Western Kentucky, the Boca Raton Bowl. All right, so that's why I had that on. All right, like I said, I had to throw my yes indeed. I didn't want to throw my Bill stuff because I know they got the game going. It was at the same time, so I didn't want anybody thinking any sideways. Okay, but yeah, man, this is big week and it's moving week too, man. All right, your boy, man, we packing up. All right, boxing up, time to go to the new crib. All right, new studio, have a little fun. I continue to expand. But yeah, so it's been a chaotic little situation, little time frame we've been having going on, man. And speaking of, now that we are in the heart of it, let me go ahead and update y'all. We will this will be our final post-game stream up until the Bengals game, man. Yeah. Ravens and Chiefs won't do a post-game stream, man. be in the middle of moving and getting everything transitioned, like I said, to the new spot, man. All right. It's been a long time coming, but it's happening. All right. So shout out to the new spot, shout out to the crib. But December 30th, that will be when everything gets back. All right. So this will be the final, like I said, post-game stream, and then this week will be our final week of streams up until the 30th. All right. So I'll be in here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday this week. We'll take the whole Christmas week off, man, because like I said, your boy's over here getting the big boy move going on, all right? But other than that, though, December 30th, man, we'll be back in the saddle, man, getting it going, all right? So just ahead of time, letting y'all know, since y'all rocking out with me on the post-game stream today. Appreciate y'all from the heart. And David Decker said, plus it'll be Christmas. I mean, yeah, I guess, but I got to go down to the stadium anyways, all right? Shout out to the game. Yeah, you know how it is, man. The business is the business. Yeah, I got it. It was like, yo, it's Christmas Day, man. We need the interview. I'm like, all right, man, I'm here. I'll be ready. I'm locked in. But you know how I go. Shout out to the homie Mike Hood. He says, Mr. Moats, salute to you. He says to the chat, salute to you as well. Not sure why we declined 1st and 30 instead of taking 2nd and 20 and give up a first down. Shaking my head. We in the playoffs, though. D-line and receiver in the draft. Yeah, that was a little bit of a head scratcher. When Coach Tomlin decided to decline the potential 1st and 30 call or penalty and made it 2nd and 20, and then literally on the next play we give up the first down, and yeah, it was just like bad on bad. Yeah, I wasn't really sure why or what that was all about. I guess in a sense he felt like, man, you're already 2nd and 20, so they're already behind the sticks. Let's get them advancing and losing it down. But we clearly saw where that 30 would have been a little bit better, man. But yeah, we are in the playoffs, man, and I can definitely see why you're saying D-line and receiver. But also remember, Larry Ogunjobi was out. He was injured. That's one of our big money guys that usually plays a lot more out there, man. So that part. And then receiver, yes, we would all agree. But we also were missing who? George Pickens. So that was another part of it as well. But I do agree, man. We're on the same page, Mike. I see what you're seeing. Shout out to Amber. What up, Amber? Shout out to you being here. We definitely appreciate you from the heart. She says, did I want to win this one? Yes, we all did. But I had a feeling we'd be outmatched. Baltimore next. We can't come out of this stretch 0-4. Period. Let's win the division. Hopefully with TJ and GP. Go Steelers. I would agree, Amber, man. I would definitely agree. Outmatched, unfortunately, yeah. And that was just today. Healthy GP, we'll see what it looks like. Healthy TJ, healthy Dante Jackson for 4 quarters, we'll see what it looks like. Healthy Deshaun Elliott out there, we'll see what it looks like. But today, yeah, that's all right. Definitely can't go 0-4 down the stretch, man. That's bad mojo going into the postseason. You do not want that. But if that meant we were all healthy going into the postseason, I don't hate it. Health is becoming a priority because we did clinch, so that's big time. Now, winning the division, hey, why not get the hat and the t-shirt? Why not? Right? A great opportunity next week, man, versus Lamar. He's coming off of a hot game today, following their bye week, man. So, you know, they feeling great about their situation, but they know what we do to him, to them. And yeah, we pissed off. So we'll see what's up. Shout out to Donovan Bickelhop. He says, Steelers played arguably the best offensive personnel in the NFL. I would agree. Philly is legit and took away what Steelers are good at. I would agree. Time of possession. Russell usually starts cooking in the second half, and he only had 2 drives. I would agree. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head, man. Everything you just said right there is factual. And that's the part where, like I said, if it's a simple, their guys were just better than our guys today, I can live with that. It wasn't that we got out coached. It wasn't that our guys played bad. It was just, they won their matchups today. All right, let's get back in the lab. And the next time we potentially see them, let's be better. Yeah, but it wasn't this. It wasn't anything mystical. It wasn't any surprises out there. It wasn't any, oh my God, why are we doing it? No, it wasn't that. It was just their guys were the better guys out there, man. When we talking about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, we're talking about their tackles blocking us. We're talking about Jalen Hurts' ability to escape our pressure that we were creating. Yeah. And that's all right. We'll learn from it. We know what we did do well. We smashed that run. So, like I said, there was a positive. We know what we did do well offensively. We were able to hit a couple explosive. We just didn't get enough snaps. right? Didn't get enough snaps. But we did some positives. Shout out to Boz. Boz in the miss. He's still on money. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Tons of fun. He says it happens. We will say the same postseason. Question mark. How about next season or the season after that? I mean, sure, if you want to go ahead and just project negativity, that's fine as well. But you can also understand context. No matter what words you try to put on it, you're just trying to make yourself feel better, whether that is by overreacting negatively or overreacting positively. It's all the same thing. You're upset about the loss. We all are. But it literally is, it happens. What is the difference when AJ Brown is going out there versus Joey Porter Jr.? Who throughout their career has been the better player? Who throughout their career has made $100 million? You tell me, and then tell me why it doesn't happen. Tell me why that should be any different. If AJ Brown had a black and gold jersey on and Joey Porter Jr. had on that green jersey on, would you be saying, hey man, Joey Porter Jr., man, he would have locked AJ Brown up? Nah, you'd have been like, yo, AJ should cook this guy. That's what you would have said. Devontae Smith, the same exact thing. That's what you would have said. So let's not act like this is something foreign. It does happen like that at times, man. It does on occasion. But you live and you learn from it. What you learn is this, man. Next time we play, maybe you do a little bit more zone concepts. Maybe instead of focusing on taking Saquon away and the running attack away, maybe you focus more on two high shells. Maybe that's the alternative. But you had to try one or the other. You had to. So yeah, it happens. It's a part of it, baby. Steelers fan 8, shout out to Steelers fan 8, says, I'm just happy we didn't get blown out like last time we played them. Hopefully TJ is back next week. No, facts on that, man. They're a good team, man. And anybody that acts like they're not, you're lying to yourself. It's the reason why they're one of the top 2 teams in the NFC. They're trying to be the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. So let's not act like we some god team where we just can't be outmatched by anybody. Like, nah, they were the better team today. It does happen. It does on occasion. But the thing is this, man, it doesn't happen routinely. And that's the reason why our record is what it is. On occasion, you can run into a team that, all right, today wasn't the best matchup. Was there context? Yes. We talked about some of the injuries, some of the guys that were missing. We talked about the fumble by Najee. That was hurting us, man. We talked about just on occasion those 50-50 balls that they were able to win on and we weren't winning on. Yeah, that's the part where you're just like, all right, we'll take that today. But next week, we know we don't do that. Next week, hey, we got to bounce back. Then the week after that, and the week after that, and you hope that you keep that momentum going come postseason. But we've already punched our ticket to the postseason, so that was another big time thing right there, baby. Shout out to the homie Mike A as well, man. Just spreading a little love. Appreciate you supporting the channel like that, man, from the heart. Black and Yellow Texas still also says, how many rings do the Bills have? Serious question. Shoot, man, they got the same as me, 0. So I ain't tripping on it. All right, go. Hey, we're going to see what we do this year. That's what it always comes down to, man. We can live in the past, or it's all about what you're doing in the right now. You dig? But let's get it, man. Let's go. UW says, this is why we can't rely on the defense to be lights out every week. The offense has to be more consistent and be more aggressive at times. And I would agree with that, but you can't just say I'm going to be aggressive and just throw the ball 3 straight times down the grass. That's not aggressive. That's stupid. And what I mean is the way that their D-line was attacking us up front didn't really present a ton of opportunities for us to just sit back and take shot after shot after shot to quote unquote be aggressive. You also look at the way that their defenders, their DBs specifically, were matching up with our wide receivers. Wasn't a ton of separation going on out there either. So now you got the recipe for disaster. Now, granted, Muth, Calvin Austin were able to create some separation, make some plays happen, but then they just didn't get enough opportunities in the second half. And that was due to their offense doing what we talk about at times. Man, sometimes you got to just keep a hot offense on the sideline. All right, offense, y'all got to sustain here. Y'all got to make some drives here to keep them off the field. That was the issue, man. Their offense stayed on the field. We could not get those timely stops. We couldn't get off the field. So now our offense doesn't get any opportunities to even fight back in that second half like that, man. And that's the part where defensively it goes back to what we've already talked about, the matchups. Turns one of those one-on-ones. And if we're not going to be able to do that versus them, then now we got to do something that we're not really built to do. So that's the give and take with it. We'll see, like I said, with the healthy version of us next time, what that looks like, though. All right. Jay, ooh. Well, actually, hold on, man. I seen the homie Cadero Dudley says, man, Pittsburgh needs to sign OBJ. How y'all feel about that? Because yeah, OBJ did get released over the weekend, and I did see some of that going around. Like, hey man, OBJ, man, will we sign him? Should we sign him? We do need a receiver. I mean, y'all let me know how would y'all feel about that, man. Drop that in the regular chat. Y'all ain't got to super chat that one. Oh, all right. Let's go. UW says, oh, heck no to OBJ. Okay. Alex Allgood says, man, forget OBJ. We don't got time. Or he says, we don't got to. This bowl, we need to draft. He says, if we don't go to the Super Bowl, we need to draft a Mika and a running back and a D tackle for depth. DM 4191 says, OBJ can stay wherever the heck he's at. Dude hasn't done jack in a while. Mike Hood says only a 6-game contract. Okay. David Hooray says kick the tires on OBJ. Jay Farrell says at this point, yeah. Mike T said he's going to be Mike Williams 2.0. Well, all right. Mike has given us some production, though. He has a game-winning catch, and he had a productive week. Was that last week? Yeah, last week he had a productive week, man. Okay. Hannibal says, it even then sign. I don't know what he says there. All right, Leah Warren says no, he's gonna be a Jag, or he's just a Jag now. Okay. Huh. DC LZ says, why take OBJ if you don't even throw the mic? So this is the thing that I think of, man, with OBJ. Still an elite talent, but the production isn't elite anymore. Now, part of that is due to some of the injuries that he sustained, and that's why he can't be elite every time he's out there. That's the big difference with him right now, man. But he still does do certain things when he's available. He still understands how to create separation. He understands those type of things. Now, in the sense of what does the off the field look like for him, we know he comes with a lot of noise because he's OBJ. But it hasn't been noise in the negative sense when you're talking about Miami, from my understanding. Hasn't been noise in the negative sense when he was out in LA with the Rams either. So you do find positives there. The only thing that I think would be interesting is if we know GP isn't available until the playoffs. If he's going to be out that long, I think is interesting because of the way that the practice squad rules work, because of the way that we don't have to pay him a ton of anything at this stage in the season. What does it hurt in the sense of when we're talking about Mike Williams, Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, Ben Skronik? Shout out to Ben Skronik. He had a nice catch today, man. It was a 17-yarder, I think. But it's like when we're just naming those guys, I'm like, OBJ can't be worse, right? He can't be like, I think he can still give you something. So in that case, man, yeah, I'm not tripping on that if they were interested in him, man. I think that would be at least something worthwhile to kick a tire on if we got to do something at this stage. But that's only if I know GP isn't back until the postseason. Now, the team are the only ones that's going to have that info. We don't have that. But that's the only thing with that, man. But we'll see. Like I said, everything works out with that one, man. But it was interesting to see how y'all felt about it, though, man. All right. The majority, though, looks like they're saying no. But I do see some that are open to him. Now, Steelers fan 8 says OBJ is just another Deontay Johnson. Okay. And then Zik Shazier says we should also sign Devondre Campbell. Now, that's... Shout out to Devondre, my man. Say, yo, y'all playing with me, man. I ain't going back. Man, well, slightly different. We've never seen OBJ refuse to go in to the game. That's kind of like we talk about with AB. AB did a lot of stuff before he actually did something on game day. When you start doing stuff on game day, man, that's different because the game is always supposed to be bigger than any and everything, period. Like, I don't care what's going on prior to us getting to the game has to be bigger than all of that. Feelings, put all that aside, man. So whenever you see a dude on game day doing certain things, you're just like, hey, bro, that's different. because now you've really said that you are bigger than what we all risk it all for. That can't be the case. OBJ is like, yo, you might be a diva. You might be loud off the field. You might be, weird at times, man, with just how you live. But who cares? Because when you're on game day, none of that matters. The same way people have opinions on Russell Wilson. It's like, yo, it don't matter because on game day, man, he is who he is. He's gonna ball. He's gonna do what he's supposed to do, man. So that's the only thing. Like I said, man, how I feel about the OBJ part. But we'll see, man. We'll see. All right. JMK so saucy. He says, should have fed Calvin and Muth more. I do agree. I thought Calvin Austin was going to be able to take advantage of a matchup, and he had success in it. We just didn't get enough opportunities to target him more. Muth took advantage of his opportunities, looked good, touched paint. Didn't get a chance to get him the ball more. That was the lack of snaps that we had. I want to see actually how many snaps did we get total real quick. Man, because time of possession, they trashed us almost 20 minutes more. 39 minutes and 52 seconds was their total time of possession to 20 minutes and 8 seconds for us. Absolutely atrocious. Can't have that, man. Total plays, 77 snaps for them, only 41 snaps for us. Yeah. Your offense, man, when you don't get enough snaps, man, it's hard. Because you got to be absolutely perfect every time you touch the football. Defensively, man, when you're out there for dang near 30-plus plays more than your offense, yeah, man, we got to get off the field on third downs. We allowing them to have too much success, too many explosive plays given up. They were 10 of 17 on third down. You cannot win like that. That's bad ball, man, in the sense of not being able to get off the field. That's how 77 plays get had. That's how 39, dang near 40 minutes of total time possession gets had. Yeah. No surprise, man. That is no secret, no surprise. Flip side, we're 3 of 10 on third down, and that's how you get 41 total plays, man. Not enough snaps, man. Not efficient enough, not good enough on those possession downs. And then you got 5 penalties for 60 yards and a turnover. Yeah. Versus a top-tier team, that's what happens. When you're playing against a team that fancies themselves as a number one contender, that's what it's going to look like, man. Yep. All right. Mike A says, this is similar to when we lost to Indy. We came back and we learned from it. And I agree with you on that, man. And we will bounce back and learn from this one, man. Steelers fan 8 says, we're going to come back from this L and finish the season 3-0. And that's the thing that we need to do too, man. We got 3 great opportunities. Now it's a short week, Saturday game, Wednesday game, but it is what it is, man. We know what the schedule is and everybody's dealing with the same type of things we dealing with. So it's time to lock in, man, and make this thing shake the way it's supposed to shake, baby. Benny Guavo. He says the defense can't be dominant if they're on the field the whole game. 1,000% with you, man, Benny. 77 snaps to 41 on offense. You're going to lose every single time, man. You put yourself in a bad situation, man. Just too many opportunities for these offenses, especially these higher end offenses, man. Justin Gordon. Shout out to the homie Justin Gordon. Appreciate you being here as well. He says, we need to put on a long sleeve, red and white striped shirt and a beanie on Mike Williams. Today's offensive performance assured a first-round wide receiver in 25. That boy say, yeah, that's the world's Waldo at, man. Where is Mike Williams? Where is this man? I dig it, man. I dig it. 41 snaps, though. Remember that, man. 41 snaps, not enough. But, yeah, dude, that was a tough one. Let's go, UW. He says the TJ injury is huge concern. 1 in 10 without him. And I agree, man. TJ is a $30 million edge rusher. You don't win a ton of games when that guy is not on the field because that's $30 million worth of production. So, yeah, he got to get back and in a hurry, man. Hopefully it's nothing major, and we will see. We know the x-ray was negative, so that's a positive for us there, but we'll see what's up tomorrow. Then on to Saucy wrapping it up with the final super, and he says, what's the update on Corey and Holcomb? Corey Trice was practicing this week, but was inactive for the game. Cole Holcomb has not officially been activated just yet, but I want to say he was either practicing or getting back out. I got to go back and look on him. But Corey Trice, man, he was bumped up. He was practicing this week, so that is a positive, man. We will see what happens with both of those guys this next week, man. But it is a short week. Remember, 6 days until the game, Saturday game, right? And we're on the road. So, like I said, man, one of those ones. But You already know the drill, man. That will wrap up today's show. Appreciate that heck out of y'all rocking with me, man. Definitely hit that like button one time if you have not done so yet. And subscribe if you are new to the channel. But either way, you know I appreciate the heck out you being here. And until next time, baby. Peace.